It was supposed to be a simple celebration, my wife's promotion, a small gathering of close friends, nothing extravagant. I had spent the afternoon picking out the perfect gift, a watch she had been eyeing for months, and I had rehearsed a heartfelt speech in my head. I imagined her smiling, the warmth in her eyes, the way she always leaned on me when she was genuinely happy. I never imagined that evening would end with betrayal so blatant, so humiliating, that the world I had known would crumble in front of me. The party started quietly, laughter and casual conversation filling the room. Friends congratulated her, wine glasses clinked, and I felt proud, genuinely happy for her achievement. She was radiant that night, in a deep blue dress that accentuated her elegance, her hair falling in soft waves over her shoulders. I watched her mingle, a faint glow of contentment in her eyes. Then I saw him. A colleague from her office, someone I had met a few times but never thought much of, leaned in too close, his hand brushing hers in a way that made my chest tighten. I thought I was imagining it, until I saw her smile, soft and flirtatious, a look I had never shared with anyone but me. I froze. My pulse quickened, but I told myself to stay calm, to observe before reacting. But the moment came faster than I could brace myself. He leaned in, right there in the middle of the living room, laughter and conversation all around, and kissed her. Not a fleeting peck, but a deliberate, confident kiss. My wife didn't pull away. She didn't push him back. She kissed him back. The room seemed to shrink around me, laughter fading into a dull roar in my ears. Friends froze, some looking confused, others shocked. I could feel every eye turn toward us, the betrayal on display for everyone to see. My hands clenched into fists, jaw tightening as reality slammed into me with merciless force. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I didn't plead. I simply stepped back, my voice low and deliberate, cutting through the stunned silence. It's over. She froze immediately, the smile vanishing from her face, replaced with panic, guilt, and disbelief. The man stepped back too, suddenly aware of the weight of my presence, the finality in my words. It's over, I repeated, letting the phrase sink in. My marriage, my trust, my love, everything we had built, had ended in that moment, and I made sure she knew it. Her eyes filled with tears instantly. She began to shake, the bravado she had carried into the party crumbling into nothing. Wait. It's not what it looks like, she stammered, but her words rang hollow. The evidence was clear. The kiss had been deliberate, the pleasure mutual, the betrayal undeniable. I didn't argue. I didn't try to reason with her. I simply watched as she broke down in front of everyone, the layers of deceit peeling away with each sob, each tremor. Friends murmured, some offering awkward sympathy, some frozen in stunned silence, unsure of how to react. The man stayed silent, shrinking under the weight of the scene, realizing he had crossed a line he shouldn't have. She tried to reach for me, to plead, to explain herself, but I didn't move. I let her words hit the floor, meaningless and empty. I was confused. I didn't mean. I love you, it was a mistake. Her voice cracked, desperation replacing every trace of confidence she had worn like armor. It doesn't matter, I said calmly, almost gently, though every word carried the gravity of finality. You chose him. You chose that kiss. You chose to betray everything we had. There's nothing left to explain. Her sobs intensified. She collapsed onto a nearby chair, covering her face with her hands, and for a moment, the room was filled only with the sound of her heartbreak. It wasn't just the kiss, it was the humiliation, the public exposure of her betrayal, and the realization that I was gone emotionally before I even left the room physically. The man quietly excused himself, aware that his presence had been the catalyst for a moment that would haunt him just as much as her. The guests slowly returned to their conversations, but the tension lingered, a heavy reminder of what had transpired. I took a deep breath and walked out of the living room, not toward the door, not to escape, but to reclaim my sense of self. I realized in that moment that betrayal is not just an action, it's a choice. And when someone makes that choice, no amount of pleading or apologies can undo it. Later, she followed me to the bedroom, still crying, still shaking. Please. I can fix this. I love you. I made a mistake. I don't want to lose you, she whispered, her voice hoarse from crying. I shook my head. You already lost us. You already chose him. You already shattered the trust we had. Love isn't enough when honesty is gone. Her face fell. The tears continued to stream, but I could see, in the quiet moments that followed, that she finally understood the truth. Actions have consequences, and betrayal has a way of leaving permanent scars. I didn't leave immediately. I stayed just long enough for her to comprehend the finality, to feel the weight of what she had done, but I knew that nothing after that night could restore what had been lost. The kiss, the shock, the breakdown, it was over. And I had made sure she knew it. The facade of her confidence was gone, replaced with shame, regret, and the stark realization that some moments are irreversible. In the days that followed, our home was quiet. She avoided me, filled with unspoken guilt, while I focused on myself, rebuilding the trust in my own life that she had destroyed. The guests, the friends, even casual acquaintances, all knew. The betrayal was public, the humiliation real, and the consequence clear. Some bridges, once burned, can never be crossed again. And in that clarity, I found something I hadn't felt in years, a strange peace. Betrayal had struck hard, but it had also freed me from illusions. She kissed another man in front of everyone, and in that instant, she showed me who she truly was. I said, "It's over," and she finally broke down, not just in front of others, but in front of the undeniable truth of her choices.